that a girl child should not be in school. Her place is in the kitchen. So it actually starts from childhood. This notion of, a woman's place being in the kitchen. How would you react to that?
We thank God that a lot is changing right now. The girl child is finding her voice. And that is why more enlightenment and more sensitization is going on, and more needs still to be done. And we're not just staying in the city where we know that mothers have access to information and all of that. We take it to the rural and the served community where we enlighten the women. I mean, a girl should be allowed to lead a change. A girl should be allowed to express herself. It starts from the home. A girl should be allowed to be whatever she aspires to be. She should be given the opportunity. I've had friends who said that when she wanted to go to school, one of them said that daddy said, no, wait, let your brother go to school first. She went to learn tailoring. Fine, she's a successful designer now. Yeah. She still went to school on her own, sponsoring herself. So the girl child place is not just in the kitchen. It's a mindset that needs to be changed. And it's changing because I found my voice myself. For a long time, I was withdrawn. A lot of other things that I would have had discussion with my parents, I couldn't. And I didn't remember to say that we're all girls in my house. So we are 4 girls. I'm the first. So I was the, what will I call it, experiment on every other thing.
Okay.
So girls are finding their voice right now. We need to still do more to educate, enlighten, especially taking our campaign to the villages. I'll still need to talk about the menstruation part of it. A lot of, cultural
norms
comes into play that are not even true. And a girl will tell you that she can't go to school because she's menstruating, because she needs to stay at home. Why? Poverty is at play as well, not being able to afford a pad. And my organization is taking one campaign out now.
But blessing, sanitary pads are so expensive.
They're expensive. What we are doing in this period, and we started a while ago, we're partnering with some international organizations that, sanitary pad is not sustainable. How much do we know about menstrual cups? I brought one to the studio to show you.
Okay.
How much do we know about menstrual cups? So we're taking the campaign to the villages that one menstrual cup can serve you for the next 10 years. Little minimum water, is a silicone-based material. So scientifically proven to be okay. You can
friendly.
Yes, it's friendly. I'm a cup user.
Okay.
So we give this for free. One can serve a girl for 10 years.
Okay.
But we can't be everywhere.
That's right.
But we're doing what we can.
Yes.
So there are other materials that are healthy to use. But we find girls using all kinds of piece of clothes. Some girls will dig a hole. We talked about a girl having sex for pad. There's a research on that.
Yeah.
And it really does happen.
It's very sad.
Sometimes it's not even the pad that is even her problem. Sex for food.
So would you say that the mothers have actually failed, their daughters in this regard? Or it's just a case of poverty and not being aware of what to do?
Not being aware is one of it. And they go by how they were raised as well as mothers and pass it down to her own girl child. Meanwhile, a lot of things have changed. But most mothers now in the rural area would really stick to what they already know instead of embracing change. And that is why we're doing more. The government, stakeholders, and other individuals taking campaigns to the villages.
So would you like to let us in on, maybe the number of villages that you've visited and the level of awareness you've, tried to create over the years?
Okay.
And also the success stories. We're really very interested.
Yes. We go to schools. I've been to Dupa. I've been to KT. It's usually outskirts of Abuja. I'm really covering for
rural
areas in Abuja for now. Yesterday we were at Jifa. We've been to a lot of places that I don't have the names here too. But we are not. We go to places where it's not even motorable, because we know what we're called to do. So, and we give this for free. If you Google it now, I think it's about $10 and more So, but we give it for free and teach them how to use
Naira
it.
equivalent is
If you
is
check
how much?
Amazon and all of that, a good quality one like this is from 21,000 to
Oh, we have the
25,000.
substandard one.
Yes, that maybe they are made of plastic that might cause a lot of irritation to
Yeah,
the
to the
vagina
body.
and all of that. So there are more friendly ones, but by and large, no matter how expensive it is, when you get one, you have it for 10 years. You're able to maintain it well.
And this is eco-friendly too.
Yes, one pad may take up to 500 years to decompose.
Right.
Even tampons.
Okay.
So it's when it comes to environment, menstrual cup like this Koju cup that we give for free, it's friendly. And there's also a partnership for recycling after 10 years as
Okay.
well.
But
Yes.
let me bring it down that perspective, Blessing. We'll be
Yes.
talking about the sanitary, the hygiene, the aspect of hygiene, and why it's very important for the girl child to have easy access, to essentials like the sanitary pad, maybe tissue paper and all of that. But the schools you visited in those rural areas, do they really have provisions for maybe toilets for the girl child or the females, or just a general, a public toilet, if you like? Is that the case? Because that could also discourage, girls from freely expressing themselves the way they would love to.
This is a very relevant question. The truth is, we know our society. We are still developing, and we're trusting that as we move on, we'll have better attention shown to schools, rural schools, and other places. We've been to places where we saw a lot of depletion in some of those
Public facilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
and you go to a place, you see a girl defecating or just
Openly.
openly, or easing herself, trying to wee somewhere openly. It's a challenge. We need to do more. We need to shift our attention back to rural areas. Government, stakeholders, organizations like UNICEF, Action Aid, they do a lot to provide pad banks, these toilet facilities for easy access. But one organization cannot be everywhere.
That's right.
So we still need more to be done. I've been to places that I cry after leaving the place. And because we're introducing cups as the healthy alternative,
Yeah.
it can make do with little water, little or no water to be used. And it collates more than sanitary pads and other things that we've been using over the years. And so more need to be done.
Okay.
Funding schools, funding pad banks, a lot of funds need to come in.
Should it be mandatory for every public school, not just public schools now, public and private
Private
schools,
schools.
right, to have like pad banks,
Yes.
in their facility?
Yes, it will go a long way if it is mandatory.
Right.
But I don't think it's yet mandatory. But a lot of private schools are doing a lot to provide that.
Okay.
But where we've been having challenges still our public schools.
Okay.
Government needs to pay more attention.
All right.
NGOs are doing their best, but we still need more to come in and government support.
All right.
Funding some of this project as well.
Okay. We'll take this quick break, and when we come back, we'll also bring in the education perspective, especially at a time when the economic hardship is biting hard on every Nigerian out there. I mean, what is exactly the point of sending a child to school when at the end of the day, getting a job is, another, kettle of fish? But we'll talk about that. Let's, go pay this bill, and we'll be back in a moment. Do join us again.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Welcome to Feminism Friday, where every Friday is a celebration of gender equality and empowerment. Tune in to Eagles FM 102.3 from 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Friday for inspiring talks on gender roles, women's rights, and inclusivity. Join us for inspiring conversations, insightful discussions, and the best part is that you get to contribute and be part of the program. The show will spotlight the champions of feminism and offering actionable steps for a just and equitable Nigeria. Feminism Lab, where your voice makes a difference. Take action with us now. The program is a production of Feminism Lab, sponsored by Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, Nigeria.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area, eh?
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAT, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICAT in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
Have you heard of the latest car maintenance, overhaul and repair service center in Abuja?
Oh, wait a minute.
BB Empire Motor Services Limited is the place. We offer a wide range of services which include full engine repair, brakes and discs, lubrication, industrial spare parts fabrication, digital diagnosing, injector and rotor servicing, wheel balancing alignment, vulcanizing, spare parts of all cars, car checker, recovery of vehicles, AC servicing and repairs of all kinds of cars. You can visit us today at a state-of-the-art multi-digital workshop located at plot 1374 Cadastral Zone C16 along Julius Berger Road, Idu Industrial District, Abuja. You can also call us on 080-6433-3100 or 090-1066-0869. BB Empire Motor Services Limited, the solution for your car needs and services.
All right, and we are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Eagles Outlook on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. And today, we're not discussing politics. We're not even looking at the economy, but we're looking at the Nigerian girl child. Of course, today is the day where we get to celebrate, the girl child. And it's not just here in Nigeria. It's actually, a global, event, the International Day of the Girl Child. And I have, a girl child, coach right here with me in the studios. And together we've been discussing the challenges, that the average or typical Nigerian girl child is faced with in the country. We've already, taken cognizance of the statistics in terms of out-of-school children, and also knowing fully well that when you talk out-of-school children, you're not just talking about, the boy child who's roaming the streets, who could be a potential, a terrorist or a hoodlum, but we also take a look at the girl child as well. I mean, who could also, become vulnerable to peer pressure, if you like, unwanted pregnancies and whatnot, which is really, really disturbing. So we've been able to highlight some of the issues. We talked about having the right knowledge of what to do as a mother, because raising a girl child who is good to the society is not just the job of the cleric, the media houses, enlightening people and all of that. It boils down to the mother. It's very important, but not to leave the fathers out of the equation. It's also very, very important that the fathers also lend a helping hand, especially when it's becoming overwhelming for the mother, because I know the girl child can be a very hard nut to crack, especially when it comes to morals, instilling morals into the girl child. But now, having talked about poverty, the level of awareness, and also sanitary hygiene essentials, let us talk about education. You and I know that education is pretty expensive now in the country. We're not just talking about tertiary education now, even at the grassroots. If it's not insecurity displacing these children from school, it is the cost. But let's see if we can take this call to hear what this person has to say. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning. Well done, man. Thanks for the good job you are doing. And good morning to your guests in the house. My name is Fundu. I'm calling from National State.
All right.
Yes, I want to congratulate all our girls, around the world, especially the ones in Nigeria. The Nigerian girl, in fact, is the most peaceful, in the whole world. If we look at the problem that we are facing today among our boys and youth, the girl child is very peaceful. If we see the youth who are causing problems in the street, in our society, in our country, they are mostly the boys. So I want to commend the girls for being very peaceful, and I want to congratulate them, on this occasion. There are many hurdles that faces them, and to mention just a few, some of them are being forced to marry very
early child marriage.
Very early, yes. And again, some of them, their parents are no longer alive, and the uncle force them and give them out to someone that they don't even like at all. I see some of them getting married to men who are old enough to be their grandparents. They are not happy there because they have no choice. And again, the issue of education has become very, very expensive. A lot of these girl child, their parents have died in the hands of Boko Haram kidnappers, and the people who are near to take care of them cannot be able to send them to school. And in most cases, they prefer to send the boys to school. And lastly, the issue of PAT. We want to appeal to the Ministry of Women Affairs. They can be able to make PAT available to our girl child, especially the ones who are in schools. They can be able to go there and distribute it to them.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your line of thought. Very apt, contribution you made right there. But let's see if we can take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ife.
Good morning. Thank you for calling.
Yes, thank you. I greet you and I greet the guests. This is Alami from Central area. Right. Quickly, let me use this opportunity to wish our girls, happy girls, International Girl Child Day. And it's it's a once in a year event.
Yes.
I want to celebrate, the girl child. The bedrock of our society. Permit me, I'll have to be a bit, specific and selfish on my advocacy.
Okay.
I want to appeal to the world, to Nigeria, to media houses. Please, to look into particularly the issues that our northern girl child are being subjected to. If you look at all of the data you rolled out now, in terms of illiteracy, in terms of out of school children, we have the largest, in the north, the false underage marriage tradition that is still very prevalent, in our region. These are the realities of the girl child in northern Nigeria, my region. And the media hasn't really been amplifying this enough, by my own standard. I want to appeal, to the media to please beam their, searchlight on all of these barbaric, anti-human, cultures and traditions that is still very prevalent, that is hindering, the girl child of my region from fully maximizing their potential, and become a figure to reckon with, like the Okonjo-Iweala, the Amina Mohammed of this world. Please, I urge the media houses to please beam their searchlight and report, some of these barbaric practices. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alamin, for that contribution. And indeed, it's rest on our shoulders here to amplify rather the voices, of the voiceless.
Yes.
In the northern region, it is no news. The cultural norms and the lifestyle where a number of people, although change is gradually penetrating, but the record, the pace is not really as much as one would want it to be. But it's a gradual process. But that does not stop us from having this conversation. So still talking on education, limited access to education. We understand, according to records or statistics, that nearly 1 in 5 girls are not completing lower secondary school, and 4 in 10 girls are not completing upper secondary school. We also understand that gender-based violence, nearly 1 in 4 married or partnered adolescent girls have experienced physical or sexual abuse. And you talk about health disparities as well. The globally 75% of the new HIV infections among adolescents occur in girls. How much of a concern, is all of this to you?
Coming down to education, we still believe in the saying, and it's not a cliche anymore. It's not that when you train a girl, you're training a nation.
Right.
So it still boils down to the value we place on the girl child from the home front. The government has made from primary school to junior secondary school free. Even though we still have people we were talking about this with some of our colleagues some days ago. Have people, you go to some schools, they tell you pay this, pay that, and you don't even have receipt for that. And she was like, people should raise their voice when they get to school to pay, and the school is asking them to pay this, pay that, when it's supposed to be completely free from primary school to junior secondary. Then culture has its own role to play. Again, when a girl successfully completes her junior secondary school, the parent just thinks, you're matured enough to go and marry, why go to school? She wants to go to school. And the next thing is, we don't have money to pay. So you can't even continue. So the best thing is to go have your children and settle down. And they would even tell her that, what's a woman without a husband? Man. Yes. So the cultural belief of how far a girl child should go in education needs to be changed. And it's a gradual thing. The level of poverty. Even when we can really afford to take her further, in our own minds, it's already, no, we can't take you further. We are lucky because most of us grew up in town. My parents took me till first degree. Okay. But after that, I wanted to go further. So I kept helping myself. I kept, going further. With my own, I'll make my money and go further. Earlier on, you talked about even after finishing school, you're faced with not getting the job you want and all of that. That is there.
And that comes with another, level of pressure.
Yes. And there's another burden of having to take care of your family. As a girl child, I'm the first girl in my house.
All right.
We are 4. So I know what is on my shoulders. And it's good because I've gotten to a stage where I am enlightened. I know what to do.
But why is it like that?
The society has made it that way. Okay, for me, we don't even have a boy child too. And check even most of the household that can boast of 1 or 2 men and all of that. The women are nurturers naturally. You just want to care for other people before you care for yourself. I do that a lot. Sometimes I don't remember that I've not bought this for myself, and I'm thinking, do they have rice in the house? Is there, I want to quickly send and all that. So we are nurturers in nature. How far a girl can go cannot be determined by any other person. You have to make up your mind yourself. We do not want to allow the society to cage us anymore. And that is why sensitization and the radio houses, the media houses in general, comes to play. We keep enlightening the girl child. We keep enlightening the society.
But let's bring another perspective to this. Do you think our religious leaders have really done well in terms of enlightening their followers? Because we know that as Nigerians, we are very religious, maybe also God-fearing. I don't know, but some people say that we're so religious but not God-fearing. And we know, of course, that a number of people can easily follow what their clergyman or man of God tells them every other day. Have they really done well?
Like you said, we're religious people. One important thing, or one thing that really bothers me, in my own opinion, in our religiosity is mixed with culture. Some of them are doing their best now, but the cultural aspect of a man should go first, the boy child should go first, is still there. It's changing, but it's not as fast a pace that we want it to change. And some religion, like I said earlier, is mixed with culture and is deep-rooted. Really deep-rooted.
Yeah.
That you can't separate the two, the both. A girl child gets to a certain level and they're asking, why are you not married? Why are you still going to school? What do you want to do with all the education? And sometimes those that are like is, okay, you can go to school in your husband's house. But she gets there and she's unable to go to school. I have closest people to me. When they wanted to get married earlier, why don't you finish your education? Oh, I'll go to school in my husband's house. At the end of the day, the result wasn't so good because she has a lot to care for. the childbirth, her job and everything. One of them that I know, at the end of the day, after having her children, she went back to school on her own. Well, how about those who don't have the opportunity or the drive to even push themselves to continue, irrespective of what any other person thinks? So most of the time, we tend to really listen to what the society is saying to us as girl child, what every other person is saying. Why don't you listen to your own self? What do you want for yourself?
Well, the theme for this year, the thing is, we just have to keep having this conversation.
Yes.
But of course, we are going to keep tabs on, the progression of events, so that when we come back this time next year, we won't have to, beat round circles. There should be, success
Some
stories.
level of progress.
Yes, from this, awareness that, one is actually creating. The theme for this year's International Day of the Girl Child is Girls, Vision for the Future.
Right.
In Nigeria. I mean, you and I are Nigerians, right?
Yes.
Do you really see any hope? Is there light at the end of the tunnel for the Nigerian girl child who's out there, whose parents cannot even afford, 3 square meals a day?
There is hope. Because there's hope for the living. And we keep believing for change. We keep believing that our leaders will focus on the important things as regard the nation.
Right.
And girl child is one of it. Education is one of it. The rural area that are not accessible, the school depletion and all of that is part of it. So it's a gradual process, and we can't give up right now on our nation. We don't have another nation. This is our nation. We keep speaking, we keep enlightening people, we keep sensitizing, and we keep hoping and crying out to our government as well. One day, we will see that desired change. Okay. It will come to pass.
Of course, time will tell.
Yes.
Time will tell. This patience, they say, is a virtue. So we keep our fingers crossed, and we hope for the very best. And the best we're hoping for, we pray that it happens in a hurry. All right. Now, we've been made to understand that the issue of the girl child education is for every nation. But of course, in our part of the world, her vulnerability is especially pronounced. Her education is more than a moral obligation. It is the stabilizing force of our economic and social order. For every additional year a girl remains in school, her future earning potential increases, infant mortality rates decreases, and poverty levels in communities fail. So why not give the girl child, the opportunity to thrive? If you see a girl child roaming the street, if you can help, be of help, but don't take advantage. It is very, very important. We can't even stress this enough. And we really wish to, continue with this conversation, but, the time factor is always a barrier. But, for what it's worth, we've been able to pass a message, and we'll say a very big thank you to those of you that actually called in this morning to be part of the show. Blessing Ajabowe is the girl child coach. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And that will be it for Eagles Outlook today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week, Monday.